now we got 65 degrees, cloudy skies here at our studios, and we have in studio with us Jake Shafer. Jake, of course, I don't even know if I mentioned, he's from right here in the Moscow Mills area originally, and
Yep.
Still is, kind of.
Yeah.
He's a rover.
Yeah.
King of the road right now.
Well, you know, Mike, I've realized my companion here, Katie, is doing a live feed on my YouTube page, and
yeah.
Well, we ran into each other at our 20-year high school reunion, and in talking with everybody, I realized that I've been basically on the road for 20 years.
That's what I said, king of the road.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Between baseball and country music and everything else.
And I've tried to settle even after all that, but I've never had an address for longer than 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little wild. And anyway, so I don't know. I just
more wheels on your caboose is what the problem is. Right?
Yeah, you know, I just like the highway. I guess.
There you go.
The highway likes me back.
All right, so you're going to do a song, and if I remember right, Travis Tritt originally did this song.
Yeah, well, actually, George Jones. And
then Travis did it.
And then Travis did it.
Yeah.
They were asking me about doing one cover on this album. We actually didn't even get to it because I ended up having so many original songs. They didn't even know who they were messing with. They didn't look up my YouTube page. When I got down there, it was just kind of crazy. I was like, he doesn't even know who I am, do you? And so I played this song for him, and we were going to do it as a cover.
All right, let's hear it.
The Lord of the Blues. As we sit on the front porch, that old gray house where I was born and raised. Staring at the dusty field where my daddy worked hard every day. And I think it kind of hurt when I said, Daddy, there's a lot that I don't know. But don't you ever dream about a life where corn don't grow. He just sat there silent, staring at his favorite coffee cup. I saw a storm of mixed emotions in his eyes when he looked up. He said, son, I know your age. It seems like this whole world is turning slow. Can't you think you'll find the answers to it all where corn don't grow? Well, let me tell you something. Hard times are real. There's dusty fields no matter where you go. You will change your mind, cause the weeds are high where corn don't grow. Playing some blues. I remember feeling guilty. Daddy turned and walked back in the house. Well, I was only 17 back then. I thought that I knew more than I know now. And I can't say he didn't warn me. This city life is a hard road to hoe. Ain't it funny how a dream can turn around where corn don't grow? Let me tell y'all, hard times are real. There's dusty fields no matter where you go. And you may change your mind, cause the weeds are high where corn don't grow. Yeah, hard times are real. There's dust to feel, no matter where you go. 20 years I can prove it. we'll change your mind, 'cause the weeds get high. We're corn on road. You may change your mind. Oh, the weeds are high. We're corn on road. We're corn on road.
There you go, Jake Shafer. Nice job, man. Good job. So that's good. So
Yeah.
I actually played that the version of that song by Travis early this morning, like
Really?
5:30 this morning.
Well, which one do you like better?
Well, you're
My
you're,
God, if the answer
you're
ain't
here right now. You know.
Is it worth 3 cups of coffee?
Well, you've got to talk to ladies up front. I don't drink coffee.
Shook his head no, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to see that.
No, it's cool to see what's going on with you right now. And the one thing about that song that's not true is your father's been very supportive of you throughout this whole journey.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've seen him jump up on stage and have just as much fun as you do and that type of thing.
You know, I tried to get him to come to Decatur and record with me.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's hard to get him out of Lincoln County these days.
Yeah. But is he your musical influence?
Oh, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Every morning waking up as a kid, growing up farming, you know, in the 80s, so my youngest memory is, 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old. You know, at 6 years old, I started driving hay trucks around the hay field and getting out in the field with them all. And then by 8 years old, I was on a tractor by myself raking hay fields, and I never stopped. And I loved it. I loved farming. And he'd get up every morning just to have these 16, 18-hour days, right, to try to feed 4 boys, and Mom stayed at home with us. And man, it was every morning it was Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, Roger Miller, people I never even knew existed, ever would have. And turns out he sings in key. He can carry a tune in a bucket. And he didn't have a guitar, no nothing. He'd just sing and stomp around the kitchen. And then later on, as I came back from college and all that stuff, we'd be going out at night and come back, and we'd be scattered out all over the floor, and friends and stuff like that in rooms sleeping and all that. And he'd come through singing "On a Sunday Morning Sidewalk." And jumping on the bed, shaking us all out, get this, you dang drunks, get out of here.
Get them going.
Get to work, get on a shovel.
Yeah.
And so, turns out, he sings in key. And it's just a gift, I guess, that's been handed down, from the Shafer side. And they were farmers, They sang in the fields, and the Shafer family around here is what the Shafer family married into. That's my grandmother was one of 16 brothers and sisters. So
wow. Yeah,
she was one of the younger ones. Tootie Eleanor Shafer, who passed away in 18. And then actually shortly after she passed, we found Grandpa's bomber jacket from the Korean War. It was, the only thing left of his service. He never spoke a word about it. He got rid of everything. He never asked the government for nothing. And that was kind of when all this started for me, trying to figure out a way to serve. Because when I saw that bomber jacket, man, it hit me.
Yeah.
What he went through, drafted at age 18 in 1950.
Yeah, a lot of folks were. That was the way it went.
I know. And think of that. World War II was over in 45, and then we were still drafting people in 50. So there was.
Well, those folks in the Korea, they always said that was forgotten war.
On his gravestone to this day, it still says World War II veteran.
Really?
He died in 93.
Yeah.
Or 92.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that. Wow. July 7th, I think, of 92 and 93.
Yeah.
I was playing baseball at the old ballpark there by the City Hall now there in Moscow, and they went to be with Grandpa. Dad did. He wasn't coaching that day, and Mom was there with us. But I just remember turning around and seeing the sunset, and a big flash kind of went up in the sky, and I just tipped my hat.
You knew it was that.
I knew it was him. I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, because we're going to move on to other things here, tell folks how they can find out what you're doing. You mentioned your YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is real. Everything in my life has gotten hacked here lately. Social media has cost me over the past 5 years over $20,000 being hacked, and among other things. So I'm not on Facebook. If you see my Facebook page, Jake Shafer Music, it's somebody else has control of it. I can't get back control of it. Facebook won't help me out, so I'm done with them. Instagram, same way. I've been shadow banned because I've been singing songs about God, faith, and country, and you can't hardly find me. Same thing on YouTube. You have to type my name in very specifically, and there's a song on there called "Folds of Honor." Um, you have to search, for me now, and once I get to 500 subscribers, then different story because then I kick into the algorithm.
Yeah.
But I'm having trouble getting there. And that's just the way the world is. So I'm kind of done with all of it, to be honest with you, Mike. I'll get out my phone number. If there's any veterans out there and want to write a song, this is specifically what I'm doing, is going around and writing albums with a specific veteran and giving that back to them. And if they want to release it digitally or on radio and any song becomes a hit, it all goes back to them. I don't want any of the credit. I'll have my name on it as the songwriter and things like that so we can register it with BMI, but as a ghostwriter, I'm going to write it in Shortline Records Vault. We're going to have a list of all these songs that I wrote with who and who was in the room, and it all's going to go back to that veteran's family or whoever they choose.
Cool.
So, or go straight to them. So any dollars that, we write or that we do, it's more for y'all than it is for me. This is my way of serving, and I'm also working on becoming a minister, Mike. So I got a King James, and this calling requires a big faith, and I'm working on that as well too. So when we're writing these songs, and we just go off into a quiet place, and we get a recorder out, all phones get shut off, and then we just have a conversation. And from that conversation, I can write. I've been given this gift to do so, and that's exactly what I'm going to do for the rest of my days.
Very good.
So as long as I have a gas in my truck, food in my belly, safe place for me and my companion, and a horse if anybody's got. I've got a horse now named Stud. I named him after my grandfather. I drag him all over the country with me because I don't know. I just feel like because he had his.
You gotta have a horse. You got a cowboy hat.
Well, but he also my grandfather had his 7th stroke at age 55 because of electroshock therapy treatment that the government gave him because he was manic depressive. They said. Well, it turns out he was suffering from what we know now as CTE. It's the cascade effect from concussions and PTSD. Turns out, and the only thing that would have saved his life was a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. Those weren't around. Well, actually, they were around. But they didn't know that it would heal brains the way it does now. We know that now. That's why the NFL uses it for concussion protocol.
Right.
It reverses that whole cascade effect, and doesn't when people's brains start breaking loose. And that's what happened to him. It was building fence. My dad would tell a story. Building fence and start crying, and then start punching the fence post, screaming, and have to walk off and smoke a pack of cigarettes before he could come back. And he finally went to the VA, and back then for manic depressives they gave electroshock therapy, and what they didn't know is he'd had several concussions and was already suffering from epilepsy because he didn't tell him. He didn't tell him anything. He didn't want to tell him nothing. He didn't even want to go to the VA. But he ended up breaking loose all these blood clots and caused 7 strokes. And the last one finally left him as 8 years of his life. He wasn't able to talk and barely able to move.
Wow.
Yeah, my grandmother, Eleanor Judy Shafer, was a little woman, and he was as big as me or bigger, and I'm 275 pounds, working on getting down to 250. But her back was in an L shape before it was all said and done from pulling him up out of bed.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing woman, and took care of him until 1993, the last 8 years of his life, and I never knew him speak. All I ever heard was these great stories about all the great things he did in town and Moscow, and he was the guy that the sheriff would call whenever he couldn't handle a riot or a bar fight, and then he'd just walk to the middle of it, and Billy Bob Capel would do the talking. He would be the running mouth, and then my grandfather would just stand there behind him and wait till everything calmed down, and if he ever had to raise a hand or raise a fist, it was over.
Yeah.
I only heard one story where we actually had to handle somebody, and then after that all he had to do was show up.
Party's done.
Party was over.
I hear you. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah.
You're heading to Alabama this weekend.
Yeah, playing a show for a veteran in Decatur, Alabama tonight at Bank Street Grill, and then who knows where I'm going to land next. Yeah.
Well,
I may be playing in Sturgis with the Operation One vet. Is a 501c3 that they travel around doing shows for veterans, and Label 22 is the label that I'm working with BAM Records.
Right.
I may be doing a USO tour with them.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to something like that for ages.
Yeah.
And all this, Mike, it's all for Sergeant Alfred Burnett, Stud or Buddy, most people know him as, but it's all for him and the things he sacrificed to make sure that I had a good life. And what my dad did. You know, my dad sacrificed a contract with the Philadelphia Phillies and sold a 1969 GT Exchange Mustang, like a rare car. It'd be worth $82,000 now as it was. It had a 351 in it, Windsor racing engine. It would beat the pants off of everybody he raced, he said. And he sold it for $900 to start a family.
There you go.
And here I be.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is for them.
Paying them back. Jake, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you stopping by.
My gosh, man, I can't believe this worked out. By the way, I love your shirt.
You like that? I got that at Disney World.
Well, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he's got a sunrise. He's got a cartoon sunrise on his shirt. It is a beautiful thing.
That'll brighten everybody's.
Brightening my day.
All right, Jake.
Y'all, God bless you. Thank you very much. And Mike has my number. He can give it out to any veterans that call in and want to write a song or two.
You betcha. Let me know about it. We'll get you guys hooked up. Thank you again, bud. Appreciate it. Good song. All right, let's get you up to date with your news. I got a guy named Tim Hadler. Tim's actually come up here.